Scott, when change like this happens, you sort of get a little bit of a bump. I think the enthusiasm and, Darren Rizzi, personality-wise, is kind of the 180 and against Dennis Allen. But still, the wounds on this football team are still there. Okay, the deficiencies are still there. Hopefully, you can get Eric McCoy back either next week or the following. But the holes on this football team are obvious. But I think that initial game, you get a little bit of a bump. And we've seen some crazy stuff. And you've been involved with crazy games against the Falcons. I don't care if it's in Atlanta or in New Orleans.
Yeah, the rivalry is fun because both teams have been pretty competitive. I mean, there's hate between the cities. When we were there, Matt Ryan Gonzalez always got Roddy White. There's always tons of trash talk going back and forth. This year, I don't know if there's going to be as much now. I mean, the Falcons kind of look at the Saints like, you're a team in turmoil. You don't have a head coach. But I agree with you. I think, Mr. Benson knew that Dennis wasn't going to come back. So I think at that point, when you know that he's no longer going to be your coach, you do something different to inject some life into the team, into the fan base. Because without hope, what's the incentive for people to go to the game? What's the incentive for people to buy product? What's the incentive for people to turn the TV on? I mean, I understand those things from an ownership standpoint. And once you know Dennis is no longer going to be your head coach, you have to do something different. So I think as a player, there's a lot of guys in that building who love Dennis Allen, who hated to be the reason Dennis got fired because he didn't play well. But it's the business of winning, from the front office to coaching to playing. If you're not winning, they're going to replace you, and that's just where this organization is right now. And I still think this team, when healthy, can beat anybody on any given Sunday. They're a talented team, but the injuries have just been too much to overcome.
Hey, Scott, Mike mentioned the fact that, in these interim coaches, you tend to get that bump from a team going into the next game. Well, I know Darren Rizzi, just hearing him, he definitely brings a big bump to this team. What do you know about him and what he provides going into this final stretch of the season now for the Black and Gold and his relationship with the players?
Listen to him good. Listen to him good. He's a northern version of Coach O. He got that raspy voice like he's fixing to lose it.
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but I just know from being around the team. I was out at camp and going to meetings and watching how he talked in front of the team during special teams meeting. Definitely a high energy guy. He captures the attention of everybody. He would have jokes. He would keep it light, and then it'd be back to business. So I think he's got a huge personality, but he knows how to grind when it's time to grind. He knows how to have fun when it's time to have fun. So if this team starts to have some success with Coach Riz, he's going to have a legitimate shot at being the head coach for the Saints. I truly believe that. That's why they're giving him this opportunity. Saints go 7-1 or something crazy like that. I mean, you have to give. Like I said, if you know Dennis isn't going to be your coach, give somebody else an opportunity to show what they're like in front of you. And so it's a huge opportunity for him, an opportunity he's been waiting for his whole life. And we'll see how the players respond. But yeah, I think he's going to bring a lot of energy and juice to the team.
Overall, Scott, looking at that trade that the Saints made, getting Marshon Lattimore to the Washington Commanders, getting some draft picks back. Obviously, a talent like Marshon, you hate to see him leave. I know a lot consider him the best corner in Saints history. And now you look, you got Paulson Adebo's down right now. Alontae Taylor, I would think, would step into that outside role for the remainder of the season. But just losing a talent like Marshon is always tough. But like I said, it was at least something beneficial. You're getting some draft capital back in return that this team definitely needs that influx of young talent come next season.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt Marshon Lattimore is a heck of a player. And then you trade him away and you see he's only 28 years old and you're like, man. But the reality is, and you just said it, you need draft capital. That's the way you're going to get out of this. This 8 and 9, 9 and 8 type of thing that we've been in the last couple of years is you need to draft well. You need to get some draft capital. You haven't drafted a Pro Bowler in 6 years. I mean, you have to hit on some drafts, and to do that, you have to have draft capital. Marshon, what's going to hurt is watching. The other thing about Marshon is his salary was high. He was hurt a lot. So those things all add up to, hey, it's time to move on. Let's get some picks. But, it's going to hurt because I think Washington's one of those up-and-coming teams. You're going to watch Marshon in the playoffs. He's probably going to lock somebody down. And as a Saints fan, it's going to hurt a little bit. But you kind of know it's for the greater good. You have to get some picks to kind of get out of where we are right now.